Just because Lincoln Heritage and Senior Life Insurance Company have a reputation of being, well, a little on the expensive side compared to most of the other final expense whole life insurance companies, doesn't mean that they, don't have their place and that they aren't actually good companies for new final expense insurance agents to start with. I mean, guys, we've all got to start somewhere, right? Well, in this video, we're going to go over some of the pros and cons of working with either Senior Life or Lincoln Heritage. One of the things that I really like about both of these companies is that they do have their own final expense leads program. Final expense insurance, as you probably know, is mainly a lead-driven business, and yes, a thumbs up right now would be appreciated. The most popular leads for selling final expense insurance, face-to-face, are the direct mail leads cards. Direct mail leads are, well, they're mailers that are sent out to folks, and we usually target 50 to 80-year-olds. That's mainly our market. And if the prospect is interested in getting more information, about the product mentioned on the mailer, they simply fill out the card, with their phone number, their age, their address, the requested information, and they stick that sucker in the mailbox. Within a few days or so, the insurance company gets the card and then distributes it to the local agent. Now, again, this is mainly for face-to-face agents. From what I understand, the local managers for both companies do have the ability and the discretion to resell the leads that aren't sold, after like a specific amount of time. I have heard rumors, and I've been told that both companies will also allow the reselling of leads even if the agent made a sale from that lead. Now, this is my opinion. I find this hard to believe, and I consider this to be more of a rumor than anything, for the simple fact that a lot of our final expense clients tend to be, well, what we call serial mailers. So they'll get a lead card, they'll, fill it out, they'll stick it in the mail, and then the company might actually send that same mailer, and this is done constantly. They're going to remail the clients time and time again, and then that same prospect will fill out another card again, even though they've actually bought the insurance. So now, guess what? They've got a different insurance agent who's coming back out to their house to sell them the same exact product that they've already bought. Both companies also have their own television commercials where, basically what they do is they develop a very unique, high quality TV lead. And my opinion, once again, if you can get these, TV leads are absolutely the best lead to use when selling over the phone. I do find it interesting that for several years, Lincoln Heritage had this huge face-to-face presence. And the managers, the ones that I've spoken with, had this kind of stance of, well, we prefer our agents to sell face-to-face and not over the phone. As like with Senior Life, they have their product developed in a way that makes them, in my opinion, stronger for telesales, but also sellable for face-to-face too. Since the virus showed its nasty little head, I have spoken with several Lincoln Heritage agents who've been told that, hey, no problem, it's fine if you want to sell this product over the phone, go ahead and do that, which makes sense with everything that's going on. However, in my opinion, the Lincoln Heritage product is geared more towards face-to-face sales, as to where with the Senior Life final expense product being geared more towards telesales. A very important thing that I would have to add, and well, that I like about both companies really, is that their products are designed in a way that is easy for a new insurance agent to learn. And this is important, guys. As far as life insurance, they're both really simple products with very short applications, and the underwriting is quick and easy too. With both carriers, you can find out if the client is actually approved as applied for or not immediately while you're still with the client too. Very important. Both have an immediate coverage option for healthier clients and a modified and or graded product for folks with maybe more health issues, including like heart conditions, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and even like treatment for cancer, or I should say recent treatment for cancer. Both have an accidental death benefit rider, and in this case, I'd have to say that Lincoln definitely takes the lead, as their accidental death benefit rider includes dismemberment, which, you know, those of you who've been in the business for a while and have actually been selling final expense realize that that's not very common. Coming from the salesman's point of view, the AD&D rider makes the Lincoln Heritage rate justifiable, actually. Yeah, it's more expensive than most final expense products. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it pays out in more ways than just death. And I know I mentioned earlier that both Lincoln and Senior Life have got higher rates than most companies. Again, you know, that's the one thing about them. That's kind of like their neg. But Senior Life does have an ultra preferred rate for folks that really don't have any health conditions, and it's actually priced a lot more competitive than their standard rates. Both companies are insulin friendly and are pretty decent for people with like potential build, you know, height, weight issues. I know that Lincoln Heritage doesn't even have a build chart, so they don't even ask about it. And, you know, I think that's pretty cool. They like don't even care how big or small or short or tall the client is. And there's a few other products out there that are like that, but that's kind of unique. Senior Life has a build chart, but it's pretty liberal. Finally, as far as pros go, both companies do have something very unique. They both have a side company, or like, how do I describe this? It's like a side product that helps the beneficiary out when it comes time for the funeral. So when the client passes away, the beneficiary picks up the phone and calls an 800 number, and someone directs them on how to get a discount on funeral products, including like the casket, and even gives them some direction with the funeral homes, their local funeral homes. This is very helpful for both the beneficiary and the agent selling the product. For the agent, it brings more value once again to the sale, making it, you know, again, not only easier to justify for the higher price, but it's kind of a nice sales point, as it goes hand in hand, you know, with the life insurance, making both the Lincoln and Senior Life products more like true burial policies compared to other final expense life insurance companies. As far as training is concerned, I really don't know much about the training platform of either company. I would say just make sure you speak with the manager, you know, that you'll be working under, and find out exactly what they have for training before you sign anything. Ask them a lot of questions. You know, do you have a local office that I can go to for face-to-face training, or is everything done online? If it's only done online, I would ask maybe like, how many times a week do you do the live trainings, and do you have recordings of them so that I can go back and watch or listen to them, you know, when I have extra time. Before I get into some of the cons about working with, you know, both companies and selling their products, I have one more positive thing that needs to be addressed. Unfortunately, our industry has a lot of turnovers. Agents sign up, they start with the training, and then maybe even go out in the field a little bit, but either way they decide that either, you know, this isn't what they want to do, or that the leads are bad. They love blaming the leads, and they just need to find a company with a better lead, only to end up realizing that the leads they were actually getting before were better than where they end up going. In other words, than the new company that they end up moving to. Dude, don't get me started on the leads. What am I getting at? Well, since both of these companies become captive the second that you start getting their leads, if you want to sell someone else's final expense product, you can simply walk away and do that. That is a big plus. Neither of these companies' products are even close to being what I consider a must-have product, you know, for like some special magic niche. It ain't happening. For independent insurance agents, at least. They're really only good if you're a new agent and you want to get your feet wet. To me, that's what companies like that are great for, you know, both of them. Or if you're considering being a recruiter and building your own like Lincoln Heritage or Senior Life agency. You see, if you're working with an insurance company that has multiple carriers and you want to go sell the same carrier's products through like a different insurance agency, you have to either A, goes 6 months without writing that product, or B, the old agency has to grant you a written release. So let's say, for example, you really love selling a specific product like, I don't know, Liberty Banker Life Final Expense Insurance Policy, but you want to leave the agency that you have your Liberty Bankers Life contract through. In order to do this and move your Liberty Bankers Life contract to a different agency, the old agency has to either grant you a written release, it's got to be done in writing, or once again, you have to go 6 months without writing that product. Everything that we do, that I do, that my agency does, and that our agents do is based on them being completely independent insurance agents. The pros of being an independent insurance agent versus maybe working with, companies like Lincoln or Senior Life is that, first, independent insurance agents can get higher commissions. I say they can get higher commissions because, unfortunately, there are insurance agencies that are known for starting their agents at kind of low commission levels. They're kind of crappy actually, and in some cases much lower than Senior Life or Lincoln Heritage. Multi-level marketing insurance agencies are absolutely known for their lower commission models and for pushing the poisonous Kool-Aid. They love to use that carrot on the stick. If you hit a certain amount, we'll increase your commissions to 70%. Another pro of being an independent insurance agent is that you can offer your clients multiple products, which means in most cases, you can give your client a better priced final expense life insurance policy than what they can get from a company like Senior Life or Lincoln Heritage. Not always, but in my experience, pretty much always, at least most of the time. You see, Lincoln Heritage and Senior Life are big companies with a lot of insurance agents. As a matter of fact, I've heard multiple Lincoln Heritage managers brag and boast about how they're the biggest final expense insurance company in the world, in the United States. This is a good thing. Why? Well, with all these Lincoln Heritage agents running around selling a lot of what like I said, I consider to be, kind of expensive or overpriced policies, this means that there are a lot of people who have Lincoln Heritage policies that don't realize how much more expensive they are compared to other, normal final expense companies, policies that an independent agent would have access to. When I go to an appointment where the client already has a Lincoln policy, for example, as long as the policy is only a couple of years old, I am usually able to replace it with a different policy that has a lower monthly rate, a monthly premium that's lower, a lot of times a lot lower. You see, most of our clients actually, I would have to say definitely most of our clients who buy whole life insurance are living on a fixed income, check to check, right? Anytime you can save someone who's barely getting by a little bit of money on their insurance, they will usually be open to dropping the old policy and buying a new policy, especially I should say, if you're able to offer them first day coverage. This is great if you're an independent insurance agent, but not so good if you're a Lincoln Heritage or Senior Life agent. I mean, nobody wants to be replaced, right? For sure, not me. Another negative about working with, both of these companies is that anytime that you sell their modified or graded product, your commission level is cut substantially. As an independent agent, you have multiple companies that cover different health niches, right? So by doing it the way that we do it, you might actually be able to give that same client an immediate death benefit, and that means instead of losing a big chunk of commission, you get the full commission, and most important, your client has immediate coverage from day one, instead of only having the partial coverage, for the first couple of years, that they're paying for their life insurance, as they would have with a graded or a modified benefit. As I mentioned earlier, you have to start somewhere when you're a new agent. And I know that there's another guy on YouTube who I happen to work with, a good guy named David Duford. What he always says, it makes absolute sense. We all have to pay our dues. Not only that, but I like the idea of a new agent to be able to cut their teeth with a company who has a simple product. And both Lincoln and Senior Life meet the bill. And another thing is, I think it's good for new agents to start with companies like this because when you're new, you're not really sure what to expect. And a lot of agents get into our industry and they realize, well, this stuff is not for me. No matter what, eventually you will most likely want to at least consider selling other companies' products, and that's where you would want to speak with someone like me. If you'd like a copy of our free new agent file, just shoot me an email at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense, maybe even regular life insurance products and or Medicare Advantage, because we do specialize in working the senior market as a completely independent insurance agent, of course, just email me at that same address. As always, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.